Hey all, Late Night here with a real quick update regarding The Division. Sounds like a couple different changes are coming to the release schedule and the upcoming content. So let's talk about that real quickly. If you like this information and for more videos and content, keep it tuned here and give it a like and a subscribe down below. That'll really help me out. I appreciate it. Anyway, let's jump into it. Recently talked about in their State of the Game broadcast, Massive talked about the upcoming schedule for DLCs and the 1.4 update. Originally, the next DLC, Survival, was supposed to be released concurrently with Update 1.4. Additionally, the third expansion, Last Stand, was supposed to be released before the end of this year. However, Massive stated that based on community feedback, it's become quite clear that they need to focus more on the core game experience before moving on to additional content. A few things were particularly mentioned in their update as needing some additional work and tweaking. First on this list was bug fixes, including but not limited to their list of known issues. I think this will be real nice because even since the beginning of the game, there have been a few persistent issues that continue to plague players as they play through an otherwise well-crafted and expansive world. Another issue being addressed is making loot drops more relevant to the player. Personally, I feel like they've made a lot of headway with this when they put out Update 1.3, which coincided with the Underground expansion. However, I've noticed, and many other players have as well, that we all seem to hit kind of gear dead zones or plateaus, which were really the difference between being able to accomplish different difficulty level activities. For example, we've all been at that point where you're able to get through those hard difficulty missions with pretty consistent results. However, moving up that next step to the challenging difficulty is just kind of an insurmountable obstacle without additional gear. So it sounds like they're going to focus a bit more on getting that smart loot drop to work better for the player and make it a more smooth transition from one gear level to the next. Also mentioned was enemy difficulty and time to kill, as well as gear sets and weapon balancing. I think these go hand in hand with player progression and advancement. I've experienced, and I'm sure you have, those higher difficulty missions where those shotgunners just take forever to drop and they're on top of you by the time you can even put a dent in them. So hopefully they'll be focusing a little bit more on that. Additionally, focusing on the gear sets and weapon balancing, I'm all for that. Right now, it seems like there are certain weapons that are go-to and certain weapons that are just immediate dismantles regardless of what perks they may have on them. Hopefully working on this weapon balancing will make it so you'll have a lot more variety of the weapons that people out there are using. The next one they mentioned was pretty dear to my heart. It's the solo player experience. Right now it seems like the Division is really geared towards playing with a squad or playing with some friends. And if you're running solo, you're really put at a severe disadvantage. And I'm hoping they tweak it a little bit so it's a little more playable, I guess, for lack of a better term. They also mentioned Dark Zone and PvP balancing, which I think it needs. I think it needs it badly. Right now, the difference, even though they've split it into brackets, the DZ is just not a fun place to be. And I'm sure many other people share that sentiment. So here's to hoping they put in some good changes, make it a little more bearable. But this isn't coming without a cost. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we had a set schedule for the next two DLCs, Survival and Last Stand. Because of this change in focus, the schedule on those two is going to be pushed back a little bit. Survival, which was initially meant to be concurrently released with Update 1.4, is now postponed to later in the year. Then the third expansion, Last Stand, has been pushed back to early 2017. So not huge changes, but it is getting pushed back a bit. But hopefully they'll be able to focus a bit more on these existing quality of life and player experiences changes that they've said they'll be focusing on. If you want to go over and read the full update on their website, I'll be putting a link to it down in the video notes, so go check it out. Well, that's all for now. Keep it tuned here for more game and Division updates. And feel free to give me a shout out down in the comments. I'll do my best to read and respond to all of them. Catch you next time.